All right, at this time we'll get started on the 12 o'clock session of City of Temple's public hearing for the 2025 millage rate. Just a little background for legal requirements. Georgia law requires that when proposed millage rate exceeds the rollback rate provided by the county, then it requires 3 public hearings. This is session 2 of 3. Also requires a notice of property tax increase advertised in the paper 1 week prior to each hearing, and a press release that is issued to explain the tax increase. Hearing dates and times: Monday, August 18th, 2025, 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. We had the 9 o'clock session this morning. This is the 12 o'clock session. There'll be another hearing on Monday, August 25th, 2025 at 6 p.m. here at the administrative building. So what is a millage rate? It's the property tax rate that the city sets to fund their services and community needs. It funds in part the police operations, parks and recreation, senior services, community and development, roadways, administration, including personnel and employee benefits, and other essential services. The millage rate is calculated based on the city's budget need and the total taxable property value, or net digest. In terms of measurements, 1 mil is equal to $1 of tax for every $1,000 of a property's taxable value. It's our millage rate. The way we set it is it can be lowered by the amount of sales tax revenue collected by the city in the previous calendar year, and it's also affected by rising costs or changes in property values assessed by the county. So to calculate our millage rate, you start with the tax digest. Each county compiles a tax digest, which is the total value of all taxable property in the jurisdiction after exemptions. This includes real estate, personal property, motor vehicles, and utilities. You next determine the gross digest, and this is the total assessed value based on 40% of the property's fair market value as required by Georgia law. So, for example, a home worth $200,000 has a taxable value of $80,000 before exemptions. Next would be to subtract those exemptions. Certain exemptions, such as the homestead exemption, may reduce the taxable digest. And then the net digest is your gross digest less exemptions. This number represents the total taxable value the city or county can levy taxes on. So this would be the amount that you would multiply times the millage rate to get the tax levy. The city determines how much money it needs from property taxes to fund its budget after accounting for other sources of income like local option sales taxes, grants, and fees. Then you can you apply the millage rate, let's see. The millage rate equals the required property tax revenue divided by the net digest times 1,000. A mil, or 1,000th of a dollar. So 1 mil equals $1 of tax per $1,000 of taxable value. This form that you see here is the PT 32.1. These are provided by the counties, and it is a way to determine the rollback millage rate, which is a calculation based on reassessment of existing real property versus all other changes, which would be added properties during the year. So, for instance, this is Carroll County's. Their rollback millage rate is 4.036 for the city of Temple. We are proposing to keep the millage rate the same as 2024, which was 4.160 mills. That would equate to a percentage tax increase of 3.07%. This is Haralson County's PT 32.1. The large reassessment results with a rollback millage rate of 0.756 mills. We are proposing a 2025 millage rate of 3.241, which is a 328% increase. This is our tax digest, projected levy, and 6-year history of levy. As you can see, we're projecting, or we're proposing not to increase the millage rate for Carroll County. We are proposing to increase to 3.241 mills on the Haralson County side, which is still less than the 2023, which was 3.97. So this is, even though it is an increase, it is below what it was in 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. For Carroll County, since we are keeping the millage rate the same, you should not see a noticeable change on homesteaded properties. On the Haralson County side, you will see a noticeable increase, but it still results in a rate lower than many comparable Georgia cities and is needed for long-term service and sustainability. The impact on your property tax bill in Carroll County, if your property tax assessment remain the same based on the 2025 proposed millage rate, you would see a $0 increase. On the Haralson County side, assuming the same assessed property values, you would see an increase of $241.34. This is some information on House Bill 581. I'm just going to read a small portion of this. House Bill 581, this bill provides relief and clarity to taxpayers by offering the following: a statewide floating homestead exemption and an optional sales tax to further offset property taxes, and property tax process reforms. There's some other information on this, but we won't dive into those. This was the notice of property tax increase that was advertised in the Times-Georgian on August 9th, 2025, and August 16th, and with the Gateway Beacon on August 14th. And this was the press release issued by the City of Temple regarding the 2025 millage rate, and it was distributed to the Times-Georgian, Gateway Beacon, Star News, Graddick Communications, Carroll County Chamber of Commerce, and posted on the City of Temple website and in City Hall building. This chart shows the millage rates for City of Temple and Haralson County, City of Temple and Carroll County, and the counties and other municipalities within those counties. This goes back all the way to 2022. It's not updated through 2025 yet, just because not everyone has advertised. But I just want to point out a couple of things. You can see that City of Temple's Haralson County millage is proposal for 2025 is less than any of the other county or cities in Haralson County. And then City of Temples on the Carroll County side is lower than or very close to all other municipalities in Carroll County. And that will conclude the presentation. At this time, we will open up the floor to any public comments for 3 minutes. Yes, sir.
On the Haralson County side, where we got the increase, you showed $241. Is that because what happened? Haralson County did some reassessment?
There is you can see on the PT 32.1 on the Haralson County side, there is a large reassessment. I believe that's been documented within, Bremen and Haralson County and several other municipalities. So yes, we're showing a huge increase in assessed valuation. That's correct. That was an assessment done by the county. So even though we raised the actual mill, it's still lower than any of the previous 5 years other than the 2024. So yes, the increase is more, even though we're raising our millage, the reassessment is the main culprit there. So. Yeah, as long as your assessment didn't go up, on the Carroll County side, it would be a $0 increase. I do too. Well, I encourage them to watch this YouTube then. Hearing no other questions, or I guess at this time we will end the public hearing. Thank you.